Do I want to make this video? I don't know. I've been looking for the right time to make this video. Oh, should I do it today? Okay, fine. I'm gonna get cozy for this one, y'all. Okay, today's video is all about whether I regret becoming a bookkeeper. I have been trying to get myself to make this video for like 3 weeks. I'm usually a really type A person, super organized, ready to film my videos, ready with my script, ready for the publish date, for the thumbnail, for the description, for everything. That's who I am. And I kid you not, I have had this on my to-do list for so long. I knew I wanted to make this video like months ago, but only after I had enough experience to really know whether I was enjoying becoming a bookkeeper or not. And it's finally time for me to make that video. So here it goes. Okay, so the main question that I am going to answer is whether I regret becoming a bookkeeper or not. Do I enjoy being a bookkeeper? Am I glad that I made this decision? Or do I kind of wish I could go back in time and never do it? Side note, if you hear some chickens in the background, yes, we do have chickens in our yard. We have 2 chickens. They're beautiful. They lay us pretty much 1 or 2 eggs a day, and I love having them. But you're gonna hear a little bit of farm life in the background because this is realistic bookkeeping. I think this video is so hard for me to make because I don't know the answer. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I regret it or not. And isn't that like such a horrible thing to say? Like, there are days where I've said to myself, make the video today because you know the answer. And then there are other days where I'm like, don't make that video today because you have no clue whether you are enjoying this or not. Maybe that's the realistic part of this, is that there are as many days that I love it as days that I regret it. I would never say that I hate it. I don't think that it was like a horrible decision. Well, do I? I'm really trying to be honest and open with this video. I'm sure that if this is the first time you've ever landed on my page, you're like, what the crap? Why would I ever listen to this person? They're making a video that pretty much tells me that I shouldn't do what I kind of thought for maybe half a second that I should do. Or why would I listen to this girl? She has no idea what she's talking about. And both of those things might be true. No, I'm just kidding. So let me just like sit back for a second and just fill you in. I started bookkeeping. I started my bookkeeping business legitimately about 4 months ago. I started in October of 2020. I was on maternity leave and I made these videos where I vlogged basically about every week of what I did in creating my bookkeeping business. And one of the very first things that I talked about, which is kind of funny to reflect on in this video, is I said to commit. And I still 100% believe that. And because if you don't commit and just throw away the possible regrets, then you're not going to do it. I mean, you're not going to do anything. So you have to commit to something. And whether that's throwing yourself out there with a bookkeeping business, or whether that's trying to land a job as a bookkeeper under a CPA, or, you know, it doesn't matter. Or this could extend past the walls of accounting and bookkeeping and growing your own business. You have got to commit or you're not going to get anywhere. So I still believe that that's important. But anyway, I started this back in October of 2020 and I didn't really know what it was going to take me, except that I had committed to the idea and that I was going to follow through. So here I am. It is February of 2020. This video will probably publish this month, probably sometime soon because I'm falling behind. But I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 clients, but they're not all like nailed in stone. I definitely have 6 people that I am 100% in communication with as far as becoming their bookkeeper or already being their bookkeeper. So I feel like that's pretty promising, especially considering where I started out and where it took me like 1 month to get 1 client. Or 6 weeks to get my first client, which I'm still really proud of. But it does seem like there's this little bit of like a snowball effect to it, which I talk about in one of my videos, which I will try to link here. Now that I have 6 clients, there's a lot of days where I come home and I'm like, okay, I have a lot to do. I have a lot of people to communicate. I have a lot of receipts to categorize. I have stuff on the computer to do. And a lot of the time I have to wait until my kids go to sleep so that I can kind of crank it out. Sometimes I even wait for my husband to go to sleep so that we can have some quality time while the kids are asleep, and then I stay up and crank it out. So there are days where I'm really busy, and I'm thankful for that. Right? Those are the days, honestly, where I'm probably like, yes, bookkeeping is worth it. And I'm so happy that I started my business and that I'm at this point where I'm actually doing work. Because, like, the whole reason that you get into bookkeeping is that you like to do bookkeeping. And I talked about that in one of my other videos, that, like, if you don't want to do a bookkeeping, if you don't like this type of work, don't do it. Like, this is not for you. I will try to put that here. If you've got those days where you're doing the bookkeeping and you're not worried about the marketing on Facebook, you're not worried about business cards, you're not worried about a business logo, like all of that stuff, and you're actually doing the business, I think those are the days where I'm like, 100% I made the right decision. The days where I am marketing myself, trying to sell myself, advertise myself, put myself out there on Facebook, create a media post, those are the days that I don't really like it. That I'm like, why did I decide to do this? Why did I put myself out there like this? Why did I make myself so vulnerable to judgment and questioning and people's thoughts about me? Sometimes even when I'm making YouTube videos, I feel that way. Like, why did I commit to sharing my experience where I'm so vulnerable? Like, why did I do that? That's embarrassing, or it's I don't know. It's like I'm focused too much on myself. But those days where you're putting yourself out there, you have to, in order to grow the business and to actually have something begin and start. So, sorry, that was a little bit of a tangent, like on an emotional side, but it's not every day of having your business is not going to be about doing your business. And that part is like, that's the part that's unsettling. I also think that there's some truth in that there is a right time for you to start your bookkeeping business. There's a right time for you to have a baby. There's a right time for you to get married. Like, in all of those things, there's unknown, right? You're never going to be fully prepared for a child. Don't wait until that day. There's never going to be a day where you're like, will I actually love this person for the rest of my life? You just kind of have to one day be like, I'm committing to this, and then stick with the game plan. So there's not going to be a day where you're 100% ready to do your bookkeeping business, but I think that there are times in our life that are better for it than others. So I am more satisfied knowing that I started my bookkeeping business now in this season of my life where teaching is virtual, and I've created a really nice boundary emotionally between myself and my work. Really more for stress than anything else. It's not because I don't love teaching. I still love teaching to my very core. But I needed to hit this phase in my life for bookkeeping to be an option, because I can tell you that 3 years ago, when I was trying to conceive my son and I was teaching in a regular environment where I loved every day and I poured my heart and soul in that school day plus more, that would not have been the time to start my bookkeeping business. I didn't have enough of me to go around for that. So if you're watching these videos and you're trying to decide whether in 4 months you're going to regret this decision, so never mind, just don't do it, really take like a step back and think about your life as a picture. No, that's bad. Don't think of it as one picture, because the snapshot could be at any given moment. Look at your life as like this entire movie, right? Like there are going to be lots of different scenes that fill up your life. And are you okay with this being a scene that you just don't do? Or is this something that if it's left out, you feel like there's going to be a hole because you didn't try it? For me, that's the way it was going to be. I think that if I looked back in 10 years as a mom of several kids, hopefully more than 2, because I'm crazy and want to have like 5. But if I looked back and just got wrapped up in life and never did this, I do think that I would have been a little bit, I don't know, a little bit let down, a little bit like, oh, kind of feel bad that I didn't do that. So I'm really proud of myself that I stepped out of my comfort zone enough to know that the future me was going to appreciate this, that this was an investment in the right direction of my life. But it might not be for you, and it might not be the right scene at the right time. So give yourself enough credit that you can commit to this idea when it's best for you to commit. Doesn't have to be today. You can be watching this, subscribe, see my videos pop up in a year, and then be like, you know what, I'm at a better place in my life for that to work. So, you know, don't sell yourself short that just because you don't do it today that you're never gonna do it. I don't want you to procrastinate, but most of the time someone who's interested in bookkeeping isn't a procrastinator. They're someone that's on top of it and organized and will make that goal and fulfill it at some point in the future. Yeah, so do I regret my bookkeeping business? No, I guess not. I do love it, but it is hard. It's a struggle at times to feel like you're worth it or that you're smart enough. Like, you can have your accounting degree and you can have worked for a CPA. You could have done bookkeeping in another business and you're trying to figure out if you could maybe do this on your own, and you still doubt yourself. And you, my friend, have more experience than me. You have more experience than I do. I'm not gonna say I don't have experience, and obviously I'm gaining experience every day I do this. But I have people comment all the time like they have an associate's degree in accounting and they are questioning their ability to do this on their own. Y'all, you can do it. You don't need to question yourself, right? We're all at different points. We're all at different points in our self-confidence. We're all at different points relationally. I don't think that's a word. In our relationships in our life. You know, pick your scene in your movie and then be the star. I know that sounds really, I'm going to laugh at myself for a second because I know that sounds really, really cheesy. And I'm sure like 80% of the dudes that get to this point in my video will be like, yeah, that's where I'm out. I'm not listening to this girl anymore. But it's true. Like, you just kind of have to pick when you're gonna do it and then go with it. And I am not gonna tell you that you're not gonna regret it, because unless you're a dude with a huge ego, most people are. Most people on some days, maybe even half of your days, are gonna be like, I don't know why I did this to myself. Like, I don't know why I put myself out there. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not qualified enough for this. I've never done bookkeeping for a nutritional coach. I've never done bookkeeping for a barbecue restaurant. I've never done any of that. But I have knowledge and I have the ability to do it. I just have to do it, you know? It was funny, I had a lady comment on one of my videos today about like one of the first videos where I talk about building a deck. And it was like, you know, you're never gonna know how to build a deck until you literally go and build a deck. So she said she was going to go build her deck, hypothetically speaking, because she was going to start her bookkeeping business. But, you know, that's what this is about. This is about being open and raw and honest with one another and say that this is not going to be some rosy picture that I've dreamt up in my mind. Don't think that. Do not think that your bookkeeping business is going to be like beautiful rainbows and pastel colored brand logos and nice documents, and it's just not. That's not how it's going to be. And I will try to make more and more videos that talk to you about if I'm getting more confident or if I'm getting less confident as I go on. I mean, God knows, I hope I'm not getting less confident, because that will really crush my spirits. But you know what? I've done this to myself. I'm happy about it, kind of. And it is what it is, you know? I think it's time for you to start your bookkeeping business. That's what I think. I think it's time. I think you can do it. I think I can do it. I'm kind of speaking out into the universe right now. But we can do it. We can do our bookkeeping business. And I'm okay with being cheesy and a little over the top about it. I'm okay with being realistic, because that's what I'm supposed to be. I have named myself that. If you have enjoyed this video where I have gone on far too long, if you have any questions about my business, I really do try to respond to your comments. Yes, it comes at like a 2-week interval because now I am busy with bookkeeping. But I'm going to continue making videos all about how I bookkeep and how I'm building my business and how I'm getting clients. I will be soon making a video all about a day in the life of a bookkeeper. Fine Points has some really good videos on that. If you've never seen her channel, I'll put it down below. But I am going to make one of my very first videos on what it looks like to do bookkeeping in real life. And I'm filming that as I go through some of my new clients, and I'm really excited to share that. So be on the lookout for that, and you can email me with any business inquiries if you have them. Thanks so much for tuning in and sticking around for this video. I will talk to you guys next time.